It was a mighty solemn procession. The whole business seems almost unbelievable. 35 ships laden with men and weapons, some 30,000 in number. There is something wrong with the world. This is how we sailed out from Albany, in mournful procession, for a destination unknown and enshrouded in mystery.
Australian Imperial Force recruit number 25, Thomas James Richards, was among the many thousands of men who set sail 100 years ago from Albany to fight in a war they knew so little about. Richards wrote every day during his time with the AIF, up to 1,500 words each evening in these now weathered and worn books.
He wanted to join the military, but instead they made him a stretcher bearer. He was part of the ambulance corps, so he went to Gallipoli in those early months. He was going up and down those cliffs, getting the injured, getting the wounded. So that's what he did for the first 18 months of the war until they left Gallipoli and went across to the Western Front. And when in France, he was always desperate to join the military as an infantryman, and he got his wish.
Tom Richards earned a military cross at Bullecourt on the Western Front. He wrote about his effort and took these maps as souvenirs.
I ran up, and after stopping some of the 11th and 12th, I found sure enough that they had actually left their trenches when going back over the open ground. I got up several boxes of Mills bombs on either side of the trench and pushed some of the 11th into the post. One Windy Cove cried that he could not throw bombs, he was too knocked up. But as he trembled with fear, I cursed him, hit him a whack on the jaw and shoved him into the post, making him take bomb for bomb with me and throw it, while my cheering and shouting brought several to our assistance.
Author Greg Growden has written 2 books about Richards and scoured this cemetery for clues about him. I understand it was quite difficult to actually find Tom's grave here at the Manly Cemetery.
Yeah, it was. No one knew where it was, so we basically had to go up and down the roads until eventually we found the grave here. It was in a lot worse state than it was now. It's been done up, and now it's a perfect tribute for a great man.
Before the war, Richards was a champion rugby player. Manly Rugby Club historian Sean Rout says the athleticism, strength and determination he developed on the football field were put to the ultimate test during his 4 years of service on the front. Attributes Richards claimed his English counterparts lacked.
He didn't think they were very good. Even he had a go at the basic English soldier.
Oh, really?
He thought they weren't much chop at the time. Didn't show the courage that it was expected, especially the way the Australians took on warfare. They took on warfare like they play in rugby.
Richards is best known as one of Australia's greatest rugby players. He was capped in Australia, South Africa and the UK, and even has a cup named after him.
He played for the Wallabies against the British, and he played for the British Lions against South Africa. So he's the only person to do it. So every time the British Lions tour Australia, every 12 years, they play for the Tom Richards Cup.
From fighting for a win on the rugby field to battling the enemy on the front, Tom Richards represented Australia with courage and pride. Even before he saw battle from the trenches in Europe, Richards was almost prophetic in his writing, penning these words as he sailed out from Albany.
The irony of it all. What hypocrisy. Surely this great God, if he had the power to influence victory in any particular, would also have the power to prevent it at the very first, and before lives were sacrificed.